What's up? What's up? What's up? Listen, man, we are back for another episode of the Shift Society podcast. I am your wonderful and gracious host, Chris Marvell, and I must say that I am very, very happy to be in the building. Last night was the NFL draft, and I am a big Cleveland Browns fan, but I will admit to you that was something that was a bit difficult to watch, right? I'm thinking that my Browns are going to select Travis Hunter, with the second pick, and they did the very opposite. And so, hey, life is life when you're a Browns fan. But I will also say, to throw it out there so everybody knows, I think the Browns fleeced the Jacksonville Jaguars. And to be honest with you, I think that they can make a lot of those picks in the future. So, hey, listen, we shall see. We shall see. Browns fans, I'm telling you, need therapy. But some of you don't need therapy. You need to stop lying to yourself, which is the title of this video. You don't need therapy. You need to stop lying to yourself. Because the truth is, you may, quote unquote, need therapy. That may be a part of it. I'm not gonna hold you. I am someone who is very pro therapy, very pro getting your life together, figuring out the things in your life that don't work well, figuring out where's the origin of those things. I'm pro all that. Okay, you're not gonna find many people who are like me, where I'm like, yo, you got to get what you got to get. Like, you got to get the stuff that you need for you so that you can become a better person. But let me say, most people aren't stuck because they're lazy. They aren't stuck because they aren't talented. They're stuck because they're still lying to themselves. And today, I'm about to say something about that. A lot of people they're not gonna like this. They're not gonna like listening to it. But if they're being honest with themselves, they will say, "Ooh, he telling the truth." Because somebody's soul, your soul needs to hear this. You don't need more therapy. You don't need more motivation. You need to stop lying to yourself. I want y'all to sit in that. And I think that for so long, we have given an out to, I have to do this in order to do that. But some of it is, you're not really telling the truth about what you're able to do. Now, listen, don't get it twisted again. Therapy is important. Mental health is very, very real. I am a proponent of mental health, strong mental health. Same way I'm a proponent of strong physical health, right? Strong spiritual health. I believe in counseling. I believe in healing. But there's a dangerous lie that is getting louder and louder out there. And we want to crack that open, okay? And so here's why we hide behind healing. In my perspective, when I think about, why do we use healing as a way for us to stand behind it as a cloak almost? It's easier to say I'm healing than to admit I'm hiding. It's easier to call it self-care than to call it procrastination. It's easier to blame your boss, your ex-boss, your ex, your parents, your city where you're from, than it is to look in the mirror and say, I'm the reason my life looks like this. It's the government. It's Donald Trump. It's Joe Biden. It's their fault. They did it. It's easier to point blame to any external cause than to look within and say, okay, but here's the 5 things I've been stuck in the last 5 years. Here's the last 10 things I've done that have set my life backwards. That was on me, not my parents, not my boss. The reason I got fired, Chris, is because it was me. Yes, they fired me, and that's not cool. My job shouldn't fire me, but Chris, I was late like 10 times last year. I got a terrible relationship with my parents, Chris, and it's their fault. They weren't good parents. But does it mean you have to be a terrible son or daughter in your adult years? Yeah, you were born in a small town. It wasn't vibing, it wasn't rocking, but you're 27 now. You have a choice to leave that city if you want to, or to figure out ways to make it more of what you want to make it. When do you take radical ownership over your life? And when a person takes radical ownership over their life, they then move aside every excuse possible because it's in their way of getting done what they want to get done. The people who are really winning, I'll be honest, they're sitting there and looking at the opportunity to use something as an excuse, but they choose to not do it because it gives them more control. If I take radical acceptance over not scoring enough points in a game, then that allows me to look at the film and view the film a certain way, to talk to my coach a certain way, because my goal is to never have that performance again. I am taking acceptance that this was my fault that this happened. But if I go into it thinking it's because they didn't pass me the ball, the refs didn't give me the call, the coach didn't draw up enough plays for me, well, then I go back to my house and I say, well, there's nothing more I could have done. So I'll just wait till the next game and hopefully they get it together. Because now you didn't take any ownership over what happened. If your house is dirty, right, inside, your house is dirty inside. No one else is responsible for the dirt in your house except you. It's yours. So instead, what we do is we keep the door closed. We don't allow people over so that they can't see our mess. And that is what I'm telling you that people are going through. And at some point, you have to decide to become allergic to your own excuses. And understanding that you're not stuck, you're just loyal to these very poor maladaptive coping mechanisms. You're over therapizing your patterns so that you can avoid confronting your participation. Let me say that again. You are over therapizing your patterns to avoid confronting your participation. I'm just saying. Comfort zones are addictive. They are. The groove in that couch, your favorite seat in the couch, that's a space that is comforting. It's familiar. You know what you're getting out of it. As a matter of fact, you expect something out of your comfort zone. But every time you shrink back into comfort, you're extending the lease on the life you have prayed so much to escape from. You're giving it another year. Comfort zone. I feel good about this comfort. Let me just sign at least 6 more months of the same old thing. Ooh, the same man. Oh man, look at him. He's handsome. I'm going to sign another year away of frustration and agony. Oh man, same guy. I've been dating him for 10 years. Just go sign another lease, sign another contract. Oh, that woman. Oh my God, look at that. Thick in all the right places. Oh my goodness. Boy, let me, okay, where? We want to sign right here? Sign right here on the dotted line to possibly another kid I can't take care of. I'm telling you that your comfort zone and familiarity is keeping you stuck. And the price of lying to yourself is this. Every lie you tell yourself is a debt your future self has to pay. Every time you say, I'll do it later, that's when you know you're scared. I want you to admit that to yourself. Every time you say, I'll do it later, admit to yourself, you're scared. Every time you say, no, I'm fine. When you know you're bitter, you're lying to yourself. You're not fine. You're pissed off. You're angry. You're upset. You're frustrated. You're resentful. You're jealous. You're all the things, right? But you're creating like emotional debt that's going to come due one day. And at some point, you're going to have to pay that bill. And when it hits, it's going to be heavy. You might go bankrupt emotionally, right? You're putting everything on the back burner, pretending as if nothing is bothering you. You're lying to yourself daily, thinking that I don't have to deal with my problems. I don't have to deal with my life. I will just mortgage it into the future. I ain't got to worry about it right now. That's for the future me when I get my money. That's for the future me when I get married. That's for the future me, when my kids leave the house for college. Not worried about it. But the truth is, you can't lie your way into freedom. You got to tell the truth and walk through the fire. You can't lie your way into a new level. You got to keep it 100% with who you are and keep it a buck about who you are. You're asking yourself for elevation, but you're still committed to old habits. You're praying for a new level, but you're practicing old habits. How do you expect new blessings on an expired operating system? If I was trying to do more from my computer and my computer was 10 years old, then I'm only fooling myself because my computer can't handle what it is I'm trying to do today. It can only handle what I was trying to do 10 years ago. So for you, when was the last time you upgraded your operating system? Are you still running the same software? Do you still have the same friends in the same circle as your hardware, the people that you run into when you need to step up? Because at this point of where you are, there are some people in your circle who can't handle the things that you need to do in your life. So maybe they're holding you back. They're slowing you down like an old computer, right? It's telling you that they don't have any more capacity to deal with what you need to deal with. And it may not be that they were a bad friend. It may just mean they don't have the capacity to do what it is you need to do. And so let's get real. Listen, fine. If you're bold enough, I want you to grab a pen, okay, wherever you are. Open your notes app. Do what you got to do, okay? And I want you to answer me this. What is one thing you have been lying to yourself about right now? Say it out loud, wherever you are. Put it in the chat. Put it in the comment below. Put it in the comment section below. What is one thing you have been lying to yourself about? And write it down. Nope. I didn't say, I don't want that Instagram answer. I don't want that I'm trying to get likes. I don't want nothing cute. Be honest. Give me the real answer. Is it, I'm fine being single when you're lonely and bitter? Say that. Say, I'm really lonely and bitter right now, Chris. I'm pissed off. Is it the idea that you think I'm doing everything I can to take my finance to move my business to another level, but you're scrolling for 4 hours a day? Chris, I'm ready for excuses. That's a lie, because you're still scared to show up fully. You're still scared to put out content. You're still scared to go to the networking event. You're still scared to send those DMs. You're still scared to make those phone calls, but you're ready for success. How about you be honest with yourself? And the minute that you can be honest with yourself is the minute that you can then start getting the resources that you need to start breaking free from those lies. Those lies is nothing but fear holding you back from what you really want. But you don't have enough familiarity to go after it is what you really want. So you put a lie in place of that so you don't have to deal with what it is that you have to do. You say to yourself, for example, you're hanging out at a bar somewhere and you see somebody that's attractive and you say to yourself, she wouldn't date guys like me. And that keeps you from having to go approach her. You see a guy and you see him with his friends and you say, if I go over there, he's not going to be himself or he's going to be nervous. So I'm cool. Or he doesn't make enough money for me. I'm going to be cool. And so what that does, that keeps you from investing in the curiosity. And I want to just push you guys. You have a lie that you know is a lie, but it's serving a space to keep you from having to deal with your fear. If you told the truth about it today, honestly, what would you have to change immediately? Would it be your action? Would it be how you think about yourself, your self-talk, how you believe in what it is you say you do? You say that you have these goals. Would you have to stop saying that out loud? Because the truth is, you're not really that married and convicted to those goals. Just be honest. Sit with that. Because healing isn't just journaling and vision boards. It's not a cute party that you get to show up with 10 girlfriends and drink, Prosecco and chill. No, healing is more than that. Healing happens at the speed of which you're willing to be honest. That's what healing is. It's when you're able to say the dark and dirty stuff, the stuff that nobody wants to hear. I remember knowing that I needed to get help in certain areas from my childhood or, from my relationship or being a better father. And when I was able to actually say out loud, I'm not the best husband right now. I'm having a tough time being the best husband. And then what that allowed me to do was to dive deeper into the why. Going back into, maybe I didn't see a husband growing up in my household. Maybe it was I didn't know how to be a husband. I was afraid of being a husband. It could have been, I need to learn how to be a better friend. I needed to learn that. And I had to be honest with that. And once I was honest, guess what? I started getting the resources. They started availing themselves to me. I was able to see, oh, okay, that's how you be a friend. Oh, wow, I didn't know there's a podcast on that topic. And now I've opened myself up to results. If you can't be honest about where you're bleeding, you'll bleed on every blessing you're supposed to carry. We got to be honest. We got to break it down. We got to expose it. We got to give it some daylight. You can't clean a house if you're in the dark. You don't know what to clean. And maybe you keep the lights off because that allows you to pretend as if the house isn't dirty. How many of you know listening to this that the house is dirty? That you got some dirt that you need to clean out. You got some dusty crevices in your mind. You got some old spaces in your heart that need to be cleaned. You got some places, in your self-talk that are toxic. You got some people in your environment that are doing nothing but polluting it. And if you can't be honest about where you're bleeding and expose that, you're going to bleed on everything that God wants you to carry. And real growth does not look like these spa days, and real growth looks like discipline. Real growth looks like honesty. Real growth looks like transparency. It looks like vulnerability. It looks like, hey, you're my person. Can I tell you what's going on with me? Real growth, real manhood looks like, hey, I'm not the best right now. Can you hold me up? Can you pray for me? Can I call you when I need somebody before I crash out, before I do something stupid? Like, I need to be honest with myself about that. And had I known that early, I would have been a better husband. I would have been a better father. I would have had more money, but I didn't know how to do those things. And so I made a lot of mistakes. And if you haven't been through that, trust me, this is a way for you to leverage the people in your life that you love the most and that love you back. You don't have to do life alone. I thought you did. I thought that being a man was figuring it out. I thought that being a leader was leading without showing that I'm bleeding. Real growth. It looks like telling yourself to get up when your feelings say lay down. Growth is messy. It's messy. Growth is lonely sometimes. Growth sometimes feels like betrayal because you're finally betraying the old version of yourself that needed approval more than freedom. But as the saying goes, broken crayons still color. You weren't called to color inside the lines. You were called to color out, to make something new, to make something no one's ever seen before, to do something different, right? You keep waiting for peace before you move. But peace comes when you move in purpose. You're waiting to be put back together again. Here's the crayon is broken. I didn't come from the best life, Chris. I came from some stuff that didn't make sense. I seen stuff. I heard stuff. I've experienced stuff. And Chris, I'll be honest, that crayon I got is broken. But baby, let me tell you, do you know that God will give you a new pack? He will give you a new color. He will reshape you. He will put some new stuff in your pack, some colors people haven't heard of. Y'all remember when the crayon pack had colors that we hadn't heard of? It was like the 256 box of crayons, and suddenly it was some colors you hadn't heard of, right? And you realize, oh, there's some stuff out there that even though I'm used to these simple 16, when God gets a hold of something, he will start showing you stuff you didn't even know existed. Oh my goodness. But you're waiting for peace before you move. And he can't show you more than 16 colors until you start moving. Then he's going to show you the pack that's 64. Then he's going to give you the pack of 128. And before you know it, he's going to blow your mind when you truly put faith in your growth and show you that 256 pack. He's going to show you the husband that's a color you've never seen before. He's going to show you a house that in a color you've never seen before, right? He's going to show you some stuff that is going to blow your mind. But we have to stop thinking that we have to wait on peace before we move, because peace comes when you move in purpose. You're not built for just surviving. You're built for shifting. You are built for shifting. All right. And listen, I want to tell you the truth. You being honest with yourself is the first step to a breakthrough. But some of you are also making 5 deadly mistakes right now that are blocking your next level. And if you don't know what those 5 mistakes are, you're going to keep spinning in circles, wondering why your healing feels heavy, but nothing ever changes. And I don't have the time right now to teach all 5. Honestly, if I had a whole week, it still wouldn't be enough. Let's be 100% honest. I tell you that all the time. Sometimes I just don't have the time. But if you're ready for real strategy, real clarity, real breakthroughs, I am hosting a free deep dive called The 5 Mistakes Blocking Your Next Level. And you need to be there. And I'm going to show you exactly what's been sabotaging you and how to break free from it. All right? I promise you I will. Okay? So listen, let me leave you with this. Most people never reach their next level because they don't even realize the mistakes they're making every single day. They chase motivation instead of building consistency. They collect advice, but reject accountability. They fix symptoms, but ignore their systems. And you'll stay broke, busy, and bitter until you confront the 5 mistakes killing your momentum. So if you're tired of fighting the same battle every month, every year, I want you to stop guessing. Learn the 5 mistakes. Shift differently. Live differently. And I want you all to meet me. Listen, I'm going to put the details of where you can actually join us on May 8th May 8th. The details are right here. Here's the website. I want you to register. We're going to be there. It's going to be an awesome, an amazing time. I want you all to join us. I am so thankful that you have tuned into the Shift Society podcast. Again, make sure you subscribe, like, and share. And we're going to be back in this thing. If these topics are resonating with you, make sure you tell somebody to tune in. Hey, listen, man, it's Chris. I'm so excited to be here once again with you, and I hope you have a great and amazing week.